A day at the lab, the invisible race. Hello everyone, we are Elizabeth and Anaka, medical students from Batumi, Shota, Rustaveli State University. On the occasion of Global MedLab Week, we created this short film from the perspective of medical students discovering one of the most fascinating yet unseen parts of medicine.
In hospitals, patients often meet doctors, nurses, and surgeons, but behind every diagnosis lies another world, a world that most patients never see. So let's step inside the hospital and begins our journey.
Every day inside hospitals around the world, thousands of medical decisions are made. Doctors examine symptoms, patients seek answers, and treatment begins. Hospitals appear to run on the visible work of doctors, nurses, and emergency teams. But behind these decisions lies something deeper, a silent system constantly searching for the truth hidden within the human body. Because medicine doesn't rely on guesswork, it relies on evidence, and much of that evidence is discovered far away from the patient's bedside.
As medical students, we often observe how quickly clinical decisions are made. A doctor orders tests, result arrives, and suddenly the diagnosis becomes clear. But this raises an important question. Where do those answers truly come from? What hidden process transforms a small biological sample into knowledge that can guide life-saving treatment? To understand that, we must look beyond the hospital corridors. Because behind every hospital exists a place where science quietly works in the background. Yes, the clinical laboratory.
It often begins with something simple. A doctor orders a lab test, a nurse collects a small tube of blood.
The sample is labeled and verified, ensuring that every result will belong to the correct patient. Because in laboratory medicine, a single mistake could lead to wrong diagnosis. The sample then begins its journey through hospital corridors, moving towards a place most patients never enter, a place where biology meets technology, the clinical laboratory.
Inside the laboratory, every step follows strict scientific protocols. Lab professionals carefully verify patient identification, sample integrity, and testing requirements. Gloved hands move with practiced precision. Barcode scanners confirm identities.
One of the first steps in many laboratory tests is centrifugation. Inside the centrifuge, blood spins at high speed, separating into distant layers. It is almost like separating chapters of a story. And with every rotation of the centrifuge, those clues become clearer.
Now the sample enters the world of automated analysis. These advanced instruments are capable of detecting molecules far smaller than anything the human eye could ever see. Inside them, complex biochemical reactions take place.
Before we continue our journey, let's pause for a moment. Let us hear from someone who works directly in this field.
Most patients will never enter a clinical laboratory. Yet, laboratory results influence the majority of clinical decisions made in healthcare. Every day, thousands of biological samples arrive here, each one representing a patient waiting for answer. Our responsibility is simple but profound: to transform those samples into the knowledge doctors can trust.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, let us return to our story and see how this invisible race continues.
Before any report reaches a doctor, laboratory systems verify themselves. Technologists review data carefully, confirming that each value is accurate. Because in laboratory medicine, speed is important, but accuracy is everything.
Finally, the verified result begins its journey back through the hospital. What started as a small tube of blood now becomes critical medical information. Within seconds, the report appears on the doctor's computer screen. Numbers, markers, and measurements now guide clinical decisions.
And suddenly, the uncertainty surrounding a patient's condition begins to disappear. Relief replaces uncertainty. Treatment begins. And for the patient, the laboratory result may appear to be just another number on the medical report, but actually it's an invisible race that quietly protects patients' lives every single day.
As medical students, discovering the role of laboratory medicine changes how we see the hospital. A day at the lab may appear quiet, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful forces working behind modern healthcare, and without it, many diagnoses would simply be not possible.
Before we end this journey, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to the laboratory scientists, technologists, and professionals who work tirelessly behind the scenes. To those who analyze thousands of samples every day so that doctors can treat patients with confidence. Your work may often be invisible to the public, but its impact is felt in every diagnosis, every treatment, and every recovering patient. Thank you for being the scientific backbone of the modern medicine. And we would also like to thank IFCC for organizing Global MedLab Week and giving students like us the opportunity to explore and celebrate the vital role of the laboratory medicine.